He sought the solace of the woods, where the canopy filtered the light, and the path promised new discoveries around every bend.
The forest demands patience. As he navigated the dense undergrowth, he sought the perfect spot. Finally,
he dips the meat into the flowing stream, rinsing it thoroughly. He turns the meat over, ensuring all sides are washed by the fresh, clear water.
Having cleaned the catch, he secured the meat for the journey back to camp. The stream provided the necessary cold water.
once the makeshift table's secure, the real work begins. A sharp blade is essential for carving thick, perfect steaks from the raw loin.
He begins by halving the roast with a decisive cut, then carefully carves the portions into thick, even steaks, separating them into two distinct stacks on the board. Gathering the essentials, a sturdy mortar and pestle, and coarse salt. Placed beside the raw cut, they await the final.
Freshly ground pepper is essential for this cut. Pour the whole peppercorns into the mortar and begin to crush them with the pestle. The steady, rhythmic grinding releases the essential oils, unlocking a depth of flavor unmatched by any store-bought spice.
Grind the pepper coarsely, then sprinkle it generously over the sliced steak. Gently pat the seasoning into the meat to ensure it adheres well.
Continuing to pat the pepper into the first steak. Then sprinkle pepper over the second steak, ensuring even coverage. Gently pat the pepper into the second steak.
Ensure the pepper is firmly pressed into the meat. Next, we generously sprinkle the coarse salt over the surface. This is key for the crust.
Sprinkle the coarse salt generously over the meat, then gently pat it into the surface. Repeat the process for the second steak, ensuring an even crust.
Once seasoned, apply a high-quality olive oil. Rubbing it in ensures the spices adhere and helps develop that beautiful caramelized crust we're looking for.
Continue rubbing the oil into the second steak, making sure the seasoning is well distributed. Next, pick up a sprig of fresh rosemary from the board.
Tucking the fresh rosemary directly into the cuts ensures the flavor permeates the meat during the sear.
Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the wilderness to master the art of campfire cooking. From setting up your site,
The rich, dark soil along the stream bank holds secrets waiting to be discovered. He examines the earth, searching for clues. The consistency of the mud is crucial here. He carefully examines the mixture of clay and silt before forming the foundation upon the flat rock.
He continues to carefully build the structure, ensuring its stability against the elements. With practiced hands,
he retrieves the stone from the cool stream, a heavy piece of the earth. His journey ends here. Slowly pour the water over the dry mud, allowing it to soak in. Then, knead the mixture vigorously until... The primary challenge of this technique is ensuring the mud is the right consistency. It needs to be wet enough to bind together.
With the heavy clay secured, the next step was gathering the green branches. He worked efficiently, knowing the structure depended on it.
He continued to prune the lower branches, gathering them into a manageable bundle before heading back towards the camp.
using the cleared patch, I start driving the thicker branches into the soft earth to form the base of the structure.
He continues to push the branches deep into the earth, forming the outer ring. Now the intricate work begins.
Meticulously weaving the branches creates the wattle. Then, the rich, dense mud is applied.
Applying the mud to the woven structure, covering the branches with a thick layer of mud. He smooths it out with his hands. He continues to build. With the base established, the layers of mud begin to form the iconic dome shape. A careful hand
To ensure a clean cut, the blade must be guided with steady, even strokes, allowing the teeth to do the work.
The forest provides many resources, including the wood we need to heat our homes and cook our food.
Once the logs are set, strike the fire steel sharply. Catch the sparks on the tinder, and then blow gently to...
Carefully, he places the glowing tinder into the hearth. The dry kindling catches quickly. A gentle...
Once the sticks are clean, use the handsaw to carefully carve notches along the length. This will help secure the meat over the fire. He notches the longer sticks first, then weaves the thinner branches through them. This creates a sturdy, natural... He notches the longer sticks first, then weaves the thinner branches through them. This creates a sturdy, natural...
With the final bolt secured, the grill is ready. Nothing beats the sound of a perfectly seasoned steak hitting the hot grates for the very first time. Once the grate is secure, the real magic begins as the thick cuts meet the intense, glowing heat below.
As the embers glow intensely, the meat sizzles, requiring a careful hand to ensure an even cook. Flipping the steak reveals the perfect char.
We turn the steaks looking for that deep caramelized char. Now perfectly cooked to his liking, it's time to remove the grill from the oven.
The final cuts reveal a perfect medium rare. We drizzle our signature sauce over the warm slices, finishing with fresh herbs for the perfect bite.
And with a final drizzle of the smoky barbecue, the masterpiece is complete. That's perfect.
As the day winds down, there's nothing quite like the perfect steak grilled over an open flame, savored in the quiet solitude of the forest.
The meal looks delicious, with the steak cooked to a perfect medium rare, sealed with a flavorful crust.
He carefully selects his spot on the massive log, the dense wood requiring a sharp tool and steady effort to prepare it for its new purpose. The bow saw makes quick work of the timber. With the cut finished, he transports the firewood back to the stack. Once the log is secure, take the auger from the sheath. Make sure the point is centered on the wood grain before applying pressure.
As the drill penetrates the dense wood, the shavings erupt, revealing the perfect cylindrical channel being formed.
Once the hole is complete, remove the drill bit and simply blow the shavings clear. The log is now ready to be placed near the oven for drying.
To start, we carefully place the mortar and pestle on the moss, followed by the coffee beans.
Freshly ground coffee is the secret to a perfect cup. The mortar and pestle technique unlocks the deepest aromas.
He continues to grind the beans with steady, rhythmic movements, releasing the rich aroma. Then, using the pestle...
All right, let's get into how to make the perfect cup of coffee with one of these. It's an easy way to do it at home, and it's pretty inexpensive.
Fill the filter basket with finely ground coffee, then gently tamp it down. Screw the top and bottom sections together tightly, ensuring a secure seal.
He places the small stone atop the log, creating a stable base for the mocha pot. The assemble is then carefully...
There's nothing quite like coffee brewed over an open flame, capturing the essence of the wilderness in every cup.
There is nothing quite like the sound of a brewing mocha pot. A comforting hiss and bubble, signaling the start of the day.
There's nothing quite like the warmth of a fresh brew amidst the tranquility of the forest. Every sip is a moment of pure bliss.
There's nothing quite like the stillness of the forest in the morning. A good cup of coffee by the fire makes it perfect. As the morning mist gives way to the sun, the serious work begins. A reliable saw is essential. The key is to use a sharp knife and maintain a consistent angle, peeling back the bark to expose the dry wood underneath. Perfect for kindling. Laying 2 larger sticks parallel on a mossy log. Once the strips are peeled and trimmed, you can start securing the frame.
Take the twine and begin lashing.
The exertion pays off. As the smoke thickens from the rapidly spinning spindle, a tine point of glowing heat The secret to a perfect bake lies in the heat. Careful tending ensures the stones reach their optimal temperature. With the right tools, a fallen giant can find new life. He carefully measured his cut, preparing the timber for its next use. He positions the freshly cut timber upright, ensuring stability. Next, he retrieves the specialized drill bit.
Once the pilot hole is clear of debris, the log is ready for the final stage near the stove.
We begin by carefully placing the mortar and pestle on the moss.
He carefully pours the dark beans into the mortar, then begins the rhythmic process of grinding, unlocking the deep flavors within.
Start by unscrewing the pot and setting the filter basket in the base. Then, carefully spoon the freshly ground coffee into the basket, leveling it off before brewing.
Fill the filter basket with fresh coffee grounds. Carefully screw the top and bottom sections together tightly, ensuring a secure seal.
You can find these stones by the river. Smooth and heat resistant, they are perfect for this.
Carefully positioning the seasoned log is key. The mokot harnesses the antennae of the
The rich aroma fills the air as the espresso streams into the upper chamber. Once it reaches the brim, it's time to take it off the heat.
This is the best coffee I've ever tasted. It is a moment of pure tranquility.
The perfect steak requires patience, precision, and the right moment to lift it from the flames.
He carefully positions the grill directly over the glowing embers, ensuring the steaks are perfectly centered for that final sear. The steaks begin to cook over the embers, sizzling gently. A middle-aged South Asian man watches the meat.
The perfect sear requires patience and high heat. Once the char marks appear, it's time to rest the meat.
After resting, the steaks are ready to be carved. Use a sharp knife to slice the meat against the grain, ensuring every bite is tender and full of flavor.
Bird rolls. He slices the steak into generous portions, then drizzles the rich, dark sauce over the meat using the wooden bowl.
In the heart of the wilderness, every bite of this perfectly charred steak is a moment to savor.
Look closely at the details of the red and white plaid shirt, the brown cargo pants, and the black hiking boots with red laces.
The bow saw makes quick work of the dense timber. Now, the real effort begins as he moves the freshly cut log. First, place the log section upright on the ground. Then, taking the large drill bit from the sheath, position it directly.
Once the hole is complete, clear the debris by blowing sharply. Then, the prepared log section is ready to be placed by the outdoor oven.
The mountain air is invigorating, perfect for a fresh cup of coffee. I always bring my mortar and pestle when I'm camping.
The aroma of freshly ground coffee is the best way to start the day. The sound of the beans breaking apart.
To achieve the perfect brew, one must first master the grind. Steady pressure releases the oils, unlocking the true flavor of the beans.
First, carefully unscrew the top from the water chamber. Then, place the filter basket inside and spoon in your favorite freshly ground coffee.
Once the grounds are in the basket, gently tamp them down. Then carefully screw the top and bottom sections together, ensuring a tight seal for optimal brewing.
He places a small flat stone onto the drilled log section, then carefully positions the mocha pot over the hole.
He carefully positions the mocha pot directly over the glowing embers, ensuring the heat is just right for the perfect morning brew.
Percolating deep within the chamber, the coffee begins its journey, rising through the spout.
As the water reaches temperature, the pressurized stream begins to flow. It's crucial to remove it just as the color lightens. Some mornings call for solitude and the perfect cup. Freshly brewed, the aroma alone is enough to center the soul amidst the trees. He finds his contentment in these quiet moments. Just the warmth of the fire, the taste of the coffee, and the endless calm of the woods. A final moment of calm before the feast. He lifts the heavy grate, revealing the perfectly charred reward of a patiently tended fire.
Once the coals are glowing hot, it's time to carefully place the steaks directly over the heat. The intense searing locks in the flavor.
As the fat renders and drips, the flames rise, searing the steak to perfection before the crucial flip.
He carefully turns the steak, ensuring a perfect char. Now, it's time to remove the pan from the heat.
The steaks are finally ready. We carefully transfer them to the board, letting them rest before slicing them into perfect bite-sized pieces. Today, we're making my favorite campfire steak, which is perfect for a big group of people.